Welcome back to QOTD, the question of the day show and the game show that lets you be on the air.
And you can join us on the air by recording your own video answers to our awesome daily questions.
This week, we've been talking all about careers. We're talking about fantasy careers, nightmare jobs, and the careers that you are working towards. We received an amazing amount of recorded answers, and now it is your turn to vote in chat and determine this week's QOTD question of the day champion.
So let's begin with your answers to Friday's QOTD.
On Friday, we asked, if you got to be a celebrity, what would you like to be famous for?
You know, I have given this a tremendous amount of thought, Trish and JJ, and I gotta say that the most of the things that people are famous for just bug me. What are people famous for? They're famous for being, born with some amazing talent, or they're famous for mostly being born rich, or, something that they just got by luck. I want to be famous as that turn of the 19th century character who worked their way all the way up, to the top, like P.T. Barnum. Right? P.T. Barnum is one of those guys. That's what I want to be. I want to be a circus guy. I want to be famous for the guy born in a shoebox, kid from nowhere, who really, really made it. That's what I think. I don't even care what it was in. Could be in pickleball.
The man who revolutionized pickleball. Love it.
Wouldn't that be fun? So let's see what the people have to say.
Yes, we got some really great answers to this question. I'm excited to hear it all.
If I became a celebrity and became famous, what would I become famous for? I would become famous for my animations. Now, I love animation, right? And so I would want to create a show, some movies, and people will love it. They'll get Oscars, Emmys, they'll be all over the place. It will be the best thing ever. They'll be super popular and it'll be super good too.
She's outward facing. She's I want to make other people happy. I want them to love it.
If I got to be a celebrity, it will be, I'll be famous for cooking. So a celebrity chef. I love cooking. I love eating and everything about, bistro or gastronomy, going to different restaurants, trying new recipes from all around the world. So definitely a celebrity chef.
Where do you guys stand on eating? I like eating.
Me too.
If I got to be a celebrity, maybe I'd like to become famous for acting in a movie or being a voice actor. But what I really want to become famous for, if I were to be a celebrity, is that I would be a celebrity who is a good person, who is kind to others, who doesn't exploit others, and is one of those actors where if you meet them at a restaurant or something, they're just a good person and don't, let anything get to their head. I really just want to be someone other people can look up to.
Beautiful.
In Hollywood, he stayed married for 30 years.
I'm an actor, so of course, I will be famous for acting.
There you go.
Driven.
If you're already doing it, why not be famous in it?
Probably being a superstar athlete, playing basketball for the NBA.
Yeah, me too. Not. I don't get basketball.
I'd say being a producer for music, that'd be nice to be famous, for that. Maybe I don't know. Yeah, like Kanye, I don't know. Except without the crazy, I'd say, but he's awesome. So as far as the music is concerned.
Is it possible that one requires the other? You can't be a great creative without being totally crazy. I don't know. It just seems to be the case. Well, guys, it is now time for us all to vote. If you are new to QOTD, you can vote right in the chat. Just type vote space and the number corresponding to your favorite answer. Vote space 4, You just want to be famous for being an actor, right? Or maybe vote space 5, NBA, right? You'll have to explain it to me, but I get it. Or vote space 6, music producer, but not in the same. I'm not sure it's possible, but so long as we're fantasizing, why not?
Yeah, I appreciate how many of these answers are that related to creative pursuits, because it's it's nice to be a creative, but it's also nice to be famous and make money off of it.
The real James. NBA, baby. Here it comes.
So somebody's going to have to explain it to me, but maybe that's like an afternoon or a 3 beer kind of thing. Yeah, we'll find out.
What, basketball itself?
Yeah. I mean, it's not that I don't get it. I don't understand why we all love it so much. It's kind of a boring sport. We run back and forth, and I get the athleticism of it, but there are other things that require more athleticism and that like have risk involved and aren't necessarily like, you're born tall.
So it's the poor man's pickleball, the off-brand pickleball sport, right?
Estimate the value of pickleball, but they shouldn't. Pickleball's the fastest growing sport in America.
That's right.
Yeah. So, JJ, do we have a poll?
Yes, we do have a poll. So for this question, the poll is, what would you like to be famous for? You can go into the chat and you can vote for which answer you love the best.
I love that you guys have integrated polls into the show. People love polls.
You can also answer the poll as part of just the YouTube polls, and it makes it into the show, or you can just wait until the show and vote in chat.
Ooh. Comedian.
Steals
the
It's
show
the funny
every time.
guys. Isn't that right? Well, that was really exciting. So let's move on. And this would be Saturday's QOTD question of the day.
We wanted you to answer the question, if you owned a small business, what would it be? Or if you already own a small business, what is it? Tell us all about it.
I have actually thought a little bit about this question, and I think we've actually talked about this idea before on the show, but I think I would want to do a barcade, which is like an arcade, but like specifically for adults, because then it's like, you can go in there, maybe you can get a drink, you can like hang out with all of your friends. You don't have to worry about the judgment of like 10-year-olds or like 13-year-olds being in the same place as like 23-year-olds.
So like Topgolf, but with video games. But so are these like arcade video games or just like, Xbox, PS4, or is it like old school, like Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man?
I think it's a mix of both. Some of my favorite arcades have they have both the Miss Pac-Mans and the Space Invaders, but they also have like a Wii in the corner, a PS5 in the corner. I think it's all of it. What Eric said, all the games. Yeah. Well, I think we have some answers we have some answers from across the week. So let's hear what businesses people would want to run themselves.
So yes, I do own a business. I'm a stay-at-home mom, but I own a business as well. It is called Mod Doll Designs, and it's a women's clothing line. It's like basically clothes that you just want to feel good and go out in, just like a one-stop shop for just the cutest outfit for, birthdays or parties, whatever it might be. So yes, I own Mod Doll Designs, and you should check it out.
This would have been an opportunity for her to like hold up something, don't you think? I'd like to see it.
If I were to own a small business, I think I would let it be a restaurant so that I can make a lot of good food for everyone to come and eat and enjoy all the wonderful tastes of food.
Isn't he the bunny guy? Are they going to be serving bunny at his restaurant? Cool.
If I was to own a small business, it would have to be something along the lines of a seafood spot, that serves something very specific, maybe lobster tails or crabs. Why? Seafood is delicious. Everybody loves seafood. It would be booming. I would get to spend my days just fishing, catching stuff, cooking it, and just serving customers.
There's nothing easier than running a restaurant,
be a seafood shack right by the beach.
So I don't know if you know this, JJ, but Trish used to run a restaurant. It was a piece of cake, right? No long hours, really easy.
If I were to own a small business, it would be a bookstore, because I just love reading books, and working in a bookstore as a small business owner would be a dream come true. And that's why if I were to own a small business, it would be a bookstore.
Bookstore's right for white, not like a speedy delivery service or anything like that.
Let's see, a small business. I love fashion, so I feel like I would love to have like a little fashion business. Maybe like fashion for babies, because I love little kids. And I would also love to somehow incorporate it being like a dog and cat adoption place where like you can adopt a cat while you're like looking for clothes. Kind of like a cat cafe, I guess. But I feel like that's not really a small business. I feel like that would be more of like a full-time thing, because if there's like live animals, I'd have to be there taking care of them. I mean, I would have workers probably, but yeah.
You hear me? Small businesses are really, really hard. They require a lot of effort.
Okay, so imaginary scenario where you have enough funds to have a small business and the skills to like do that. I would want like a really cute like cookie and cupcake bakery place where like I go in the morning and I make all this stuff from scratch, and they're all like personally like special to how I make them, and there's just like light acoustic music playing and the same customers come in every single day. It would be adorable, and there would be holiday themes. Like, I really do like baking dessert. I never do it because I'm not gonna like sit around and eat a bunch of cupcakes. So hypothetically, if I could, I think I would want to run like my own special bakery.
And I like the fact that you said price no object, because that's a hard one too. These are all very hard ideas. Business is tough, guys. Well, we had some big choices in here, but you guys have to vote. So you can vote right in the chat by typing vote space and the number corresponding to your favorite answer. We had, I think, 2 clothing stores, 2 restaurants, children's fashion plus
Pets.
adopting a baby, or the other way around, I can't remember which, and cupcakes. So what do you think? I mean, I gotta say that I think that the baby's fashion sounded to me like the easiest one.
But there's cats and dogs running around while the babies.
Yeah. What? The bookstore. The bookstore. There is a thriving industry. You know, that's where I got my start in life. I was a book guy.
Are they still relevant, bookstores? Like, don't hate me, but
no. Okay. No, unless you can also go there to pick up your Amazon packages. That's like the only reason to go into a bookstore. My 7-Eleven is like an Amazon hub now. It's like, gosh, now I got you in. Maybe I'll get a lottery ticket, you know, while I'm there. But yeah, the whole retail thing is very, very hard. But I like the ones that are service focused. Like, it's not a cupcake business. You're not coming there to get cupcakes. It's the same people coming every day because they want that personalized cupcake in that community. And similarly, a good time to adopt a cat, I guess. You got value add. That's all I'm going to say. Very, very hard.
I think we do have a poll for this question. So this poll is, what small business would or do you currently own? So remember, you can vote in the chat saying vote space and then either 1, 2, 3, or 4 to vote for which option you love the most or relate to the most.
If you vote for number 3, you're a fool. I'm just going to tell you that right now.
Freedom of being a gig worker, isn't it great?
It's very stressful. Oh, the restaurant takes it every time.
I can see that. Maybe a brewery.
Yeah.
Very high end. Very high end. Yeah. Well, what do you say? Let's move on and get a gander at Sunday's QOTD question of the day.
If you've ever worked in the service industry, which many of us have, what is your nightmare workplace story? As Keith alluded to, I did own a restaurant at one time for many, many years. And so I have many of these stories, but I think the actual nightmare one was we had closed and somebody came, way closed, and they came way late to pick up their order, and he was very inebriated. And so as he was pounding on the glass for me to unlock the front door, he hit it really hard and it shattered the whole window. So the $14 pizza turned into a $1,400 cost to replace the window.
So, but he came in. You knew he didn't just run away.
He didn't just run away. No, he actually had a small child in tow, which made it even more wild.
But yeah, I kind of feel like it's your fault for like serving pizza
So
late at
late.
night. What do you think is going to show up?
But that's the problem, see, with owning your restaurant. It's like you never stops. You can say you're going to
Just
close at
with
this
hungry
time, but you feel like you have to stay open later and deal with this kind of stuff.
But on the other hand, you could have a business that nobody cared about, and that has its own problems.
True.
Well, let's see what other amazing nightmares our fans have come up with. Story.
One time when I was at my old job, a kid peed on the floor during the middle of the day. And the mom just like, sorry, and left. So I had to clean it up. That was a fun day. Only made $8 an hour. So, yeah, definitely not worth it.
Yeah, but your name is Chris P. Of course you were taxed with that job. Come on.
Well, I'm at work right now. Can't talk about this one. I worked at Walmart before. Price matching was a nightmare. I had a pack of hot dogs thrown at me.
What do you say?
So I don't know if this is considered a nightmare, but I used to work at an ice cream shop from ages 15 to 20. And I just remember in one instance, this startled me a lot. So this was my nightmare. These two girls come in. They're clearly not well. They seem like they're not homeless, but they're not like not homeless. And they just look like they're definitely on something. And so the one girl orders for the girl next to her, because the girl next to her couldn't even look at anyone, couldn't even speak, couldn't even stop shaking. And looking someone in the eyes that is just so apparently dealing with addiction is so startling as someone that's 15. Never seeing that unless it's on like TV, you know? So to be able to see someone that couldn't even function in public because they were just shaking and like definitely wasn't a sickness. Like this girl was 110% on something. That was definitely a good nightmare to have at work as a 15-year-old. To this day, I will never do anything like that. And that is confirmed because of her. So thank you.
Sounds like she was very frightened by that.
Yeah, that is a nightmare.
Is banking considered a service industry? Yes, I was a teller and I got robbed at gunpoint and he left with a couple $100. They found him and they sent him to like 50 years to life because he had robbed like 10 other banks before with guns. The worst part of it was my bank manager, the general manager at the time, wouldn't stop making fun of me because the robber was short. So he makes fun of me that this little guy came up to me and said, "Give me your money," and then I have to live with that for the rest of my life. Thanks.
We know why he robbed the bank is because he was a little short.
Oh, that's too.
I once had a job where our manager, his name was Rich, had the appearance and the personality of Jabba the Hutt mixed with Newman from Seinfeld.
Oh.
The personality of Jabba the Hutt.
If we can count working as a nurse in a hospital as part of the service industry, then I would say my nightmare story is when I started my shift at 6:45 in the morning and I'm coming down the hall and there's somebody throwing up and I go in there and the throw up is brown and it turns out the throw up is poop because the poop couldn't go down, so it had to come back out. And then I had to pour that vomit poop into a graduated cylinder and measure it. Not a good way to start the morning.
So all I'm going to say is, yikes, there were a lot of nightmare stories here. Would you rather be held up by gunpoint? Would you have to like fill a cylinder full of poop vomit? Maybe you want to go like confront drug addicts. Gosh, they're all amazing. So, but we got to vote. Which was the nightmarest of the nightmares? You can vote right in chat by typing vote space and one of these numbers. Oh, by the way, if you're on beyondtheair.com, just mash the blue button at the bottom of your screen. It's as simple as that. But wow.
Yeah.
Pack of hot dogs, picking up pee on the floor. I don't even know where to go with this.
Wow.
No.
These are bad.
But
I mean, we asked for nightmares, and we definitely got some nightmares.
Ooh.
Kara. This was the thing we don't want to talk about, right?
This is
Well,
1,000 mils of poop.
I'm so sorry, Tara.
Yeah. At least you get hopefully some consolation in that you are the winner for this question and that you get to go to the final round.
Yeah, everyone agrees. You lived through the worst workplace.
I feel like if you're a nurse, because I could never do it, but if you're saying, hey, I'm going to become a health worker, then maybe you're like, what's a little poop?
Yeah. I think it just coming out of where you wouldn't imagine it should come out of is the real nightmare.
Imagine if you were the dental hygienist that now had to go and clean this person's teeth. Sorry, internet. Do we have a poll, JJ?
We do. I was just going to say, let's move on to the poll before we get too deep. This poll is, what is something that specifically we're talking about retail, what retail customers do that annoy you? We have some 4 options. If you've ever worked in retail, it's definitely quite the experience. So this is your chance to vent a little bit.
I think the rudeness is such a
is one that really gets me. People are really rude.
Mm-hmm.
You just stay at home and shop on your little phone if you're going to be rude. But that wasn't it.
No, they say stupid questions. It's worse.
I guess if you work in retail, you don't want people to stay at home and shop on their little phones. You want them to come, but you want them to be courteous and not rude and impatient.
Yeah. Well, great question. Well, thank you for this amazing question. I think we can move right along.
So this is Sunday or Monday? I lost track of the days of the week. There are so many questions of the day.
That's right. Well, this one, we wanted to know, if money were no object, what would your dream job be? Boy.
I gotta say, so I've had like more jobs than anybody that you've ever met. I've done everything. Well, except for I've never worked in retail. But I mean, I have dug ditches, I've driven trucks, I've done like roofing, obviously I've worked in the games business for a really long time. I've done a million different things. But you know what I want? I want to work outside. That's I don't even care. I will cut your lawn. Just give me a call and I will come out there. You need a tree chopped down? I will definitely chop a tree. I don't care what I do. I just don't want to be inside staring at a computer anymore. So I guess that my dream job is maybe being like in the forestry business, like tying those like red plastic things around trees. This one. Don't do this one.
Yeah, I think it really is a question of what do you enjoy day in and day out, and if your rent was paid, this is where you'd be.
I think that in the forestry business, I can stay up in the ranger station. That's what I'm hoping.
And that is, you all know that is where the magic, that is where the fun happens, is up in those ranger towers.
Who knows what happens up there on top of the ladder in the ranger station? No one knows.
I didn't know
anything could be going on up there. They're sitting there eating ice cream and pizza. They go, yeah, I unfortunately broke the glass door getting this one, but I got the slice.
And that's what's important. Well, we do have some really great answers to this question. I'm not sure if we have any more foresters or interior designers, but some really great jobs to choose from.
If money was no object, my dream job would be to be an artist.
The very popular one. Yeah, if you don't have to worry about.
Well, if money was no object, then my dream job would be no job. And I'm not even kidding. I would probably have some hobbies like helping out in kiddie shelters or working with the elderly people. But you know, I don't feel like I'm missing on something when I don't have to go to work. That's just my honest answer.
That's depressing. Maybe she just needs to get a different job.
My ideal job, if I had one, would be I want to be one of those people at the zoo who take out the animals and show them to kids. Like, you know, the person who picks up the big albino python and shows it to the kids and answers fun facts about her. Like the people at like the penguin show who tell you what they eat. I want to do that. That sounds really fun.
Penguins mate for life. Did you know that?
Wine taster.
It's like one of those things that you go, that's a job?
I honestly have no idea how much like zookeepers and people that work at like with animals at the zoo make, but I feel like that would be a pretty awesome job to have, because you're just like hanging out with animals that people are paying to see like for a living every single day, and you're probably becoming like super tight with them. So that sounds fun to me. I think I would be a zookeeper.
You and Rachel
Two
can
in
get
the
together
zoo.
and start your own zoo.
If money wasn't a problem, I would work watching movies. Like, if I could just sit down with munchies on the side, a Slurpee on the other side, and watch films all day, get paid. Or not, because it's not an issue. Money's not an issue in this scenario. That's what I like.
Hey, that's like maybe person number 2 should be thinking about that if you could do anything. Well, guys, we got to vote. These were all some pretty amazing questions and kind of like eye-opening if you're asking me. But we got to vote. We got to pick one. So go into the chat and type vote space and whoever it is that you really think. Maybe you want no job. Maybe you want to work in the zoo. Maybe you want to become a sommelier like Dante. Or maybe you just want to watch movies. I like to watch movies. I like to get paid.
I will say one thing that's very funny about Zach's answer is he's referring to them not as like movie snacks, but as munchies. Right. Very interesting choice.
I'm just saying, maybe he'll go to the ice cream store and scare the retail folks.
Abby K. Congratulations, Abby. I forgot what her answer was.
She was artist.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, but I feel like you could be an artist at like anything that you do. You know, if you approach it with the right attitude and like a commitment to quality and expressing yourself through the work. Honestly, you know, like back in my scenario where I'm chopping trees, I could like be chopping the best trees.
Yeah.
Right? I could like totally be chopping, and I feel so fulfilled every day because I did it like an artist.
Did you
but
do
anyway,
the hedges?
I'm gathering that what she really means is like she wants to paint something.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. In Paris, wear a hat.
But I hear what you're saying, because if you were like a gardener, you know how they do the hedges in like beautiful shapes and they make it look like a castle, just like the hedgerow. It's awesome.
You know what? Remember how I was saying I would do anything outside? That's what I would want to do.
Okay.
I want to become not just like a landscape architect, because I also want to like hang out and make those flowers grow.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's the beginning of what makes it. Every job, I think, is ultimately satisfying if you can approach it like an artist, and if you don't have, you know, the crunch of money like always haunting you.
Right.
You know, because that takes away a lot of the fun.
Definitely.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, we do have a poll for this question, so we put it to you, audience. So what is your dream job if you didn't have to worry about financial obligations? We do have artists on there, but we have other options, so vote away.
Gig worker. Something, archaeologist. Yeah, that would be really cool. I want to go and like dig up artifacts.
A lot of travel, right?
Why? I do speak ancient Sumerian. 1 second while I decode that for you.
Artist by a
Artist.
landslide.
I would be an artist slash archaeologist slash gardener.
Anything else?
Office. I'll be like Chauncey Gardner from the movie Being There. I don't know if you've ever seen that, Peter Sellers. It's a comedy. It's funny. Some people like a movie, you know, to have with their munchies. Just saying. Well, anyway, why don't we move on to our next question? And I believe that we're on Tuesday's QOTD question of the day.
Nice. We wanted you to give your boss a performance review. We wanted to know how your boss is doing and what they could do to improve.
So I think this is a very funny question because, like, I've been a boss and I've been bossed. And you know what I think? I think it's, in a lot of ways, it's hard to be the boss and it's easier to not be the boss. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, it's hard emotion. A, everybody hates you. Right.
Right.
And B, it's tremendous amount of just like details and labor, and it's so easy to blow it. When you blow it, everybody loses their job. It's a lot of responsibility. So I think that people don't really take into account how difficult the boss's job is. We should cut them some slack. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, I gotta say that if I were in a position like that now, I would probably be pretty tough. You know, I mean, I would be understanding because I know it's hard, but like I would know all the details. I'd say. Slacking off.
Yeah.
You're slacking off, JJ.
Me?
And then I would go, you're not the boss of me, because that's the big line. But yeah, no, I'd be really interested to see what people say. And I also wonder how they take this question, because you could like look at this a lot of different ways. So why don't we hear, what do people think about their bosses? What kind of review would they give them?
Very curious too.
Mr. Bossman, I'm glad that you can join me today. Now, I see that your performance in the past 5 years that you've been working with me has been great, but this last month you've been really awful at accepting time requests. What's the deal with that?
That was an elegant compliment.
I don't know.
She needs another 10 seconds to say, but you're really good at X, you know.
I have no complaints at all right now. Everything's great. Boss is great. You know, I think he had some complaints about my hairdo, but it wasn't too bad. So I had to shave it all off. Well, you see the result.
Yes.
Right now, I'd like to give my boss a big fat F. And that's only because I'm sure she'd give me that right now. But I know it's only because like tensions are really high and things are pretty stressful at work. But it just means lots of room to improve, right?
She works at Rooster Teeth.
I'd have to give my boss an A. Super nice guy, always trying to make me reach my limits and always pushing me harder to improve myself. So yeah, A star.
Sounds like a good boss.
Yeah. And he sounds like a good employee, like he's taking it.
I would have to say, for not my current boss, but previous bosses, direction would be really helpful, and to not put so much pressure. We're just serving ads. We're not doing brain surgery.
I mean, in certain senses, you do.
You know what I'm
I would
saying?
give my boss Amy a 4 out of 5. She is super awesome. I think we made great work together, but I'm deducting a point because she never responds to my emails on time.
You got to finish the compliment sandwich. You got to come back. But I love working with her and I never want to change. Guys, we got to vote. What do you think? What was like the most reviewy of the review types? I love number 1. That was like a real review, like reviews I've sat it on before. Or some of these were kind of funny. And that's the whole thing. You can vote for whoever you want, but maybe it was somebody who made you laugh, somebody you agree with, somebody who just changed your life with their illuminating wisdom. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I like how everyone sort of took the question seriously, but I think there was like a good, well, except for I think Pear sort of, you know, had that a very funny hairdo joke, but I think everyone was like giving some good feedback, being very realistic. I think all pretty good answers.
Well, Christina, it's just ads, folks. It's not the end of the world. That's what she wants her boss to know.
Lighten up, Francis.
Yeah, although I will say that like for ads, not that it's brain surgery, but there is like a very heavy psychological component to make sure that your ads work. So it's not brain surgery, but there is some getting into the brain involved in making
Complicated manipulating children, I understand. She's got a lot of reputation points. So you guys notice up by the star, her number, that's a really high number. People really liked this one. So I don't know if you know this, but when you applaud by sending, let's say, an emoji in chat, it's one of the ways that you can do it, it increases somebody's reputation and helps them be seen more frequently. And that in turn helps them make it to the big show. So Christina, like everything she records is going to get like evaluated at a high level. She has such high reputation, so she should be thankful. Maybe it was her boss who like applauded for her so much. Who knows?
Who knows? So those reputation stars, that's for Christina as a person, not just for the answer to this question, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
So when you vote, you're voting for a particular answer, but when you applaud, you're applauding that person. If that makes sense. Yes, I see people in the chat going, aha!
Yeah.
What do we got, JJ? Is there a poll on this one?
Yes, there is. So the poll question is, what is the number one way that you think your boss can improve? We have some options here, including, of course, no notes. Your boss is incredible. Yeah, I think just vote in the chat and let us know what is the primary way. Or, you know, give your boss your flowers.
Yeah.
More money.
That's right. Better communication skills. See, if you have good communication skills, it actually takes care of the other issues that people have. You know, your time off requests or whatever. If you have better communication, pretty much solves the
Difficult. Communication is kind of the aggregation of so many other skills. You have to be organized. You have to be empathetic. You have to, be timely. There's a lot there, So anyway, something for us to all strive for, good in employees and employers.
Absolutely.
So what do you say we go on to Wednesday?
I know this is a fun one, right? You just won the lottery. Congratulations. And what's the first thing you're going to buy with your new money?
So funny. If all of a sudden somebody plopped 10 million bucks in your hands, JJ, what would you do?
I think there's so many options. Obviously, the logical answer is, getting a lawyer, getting a consultant, thinking about ways to spend the money wisely. I would probably first buy something extravagant like a penthouse in New York or some sort of like McMansion in LA and just be a little bit irresponsible for a bit because, what are you going to do with $100 million or like whatever the lottery winning is, if not make an extravagant purchase or two?
Trish, what would you do first thing?
First thing I agree with JJ. I'm going to hire an attorney. Tell me exactly
I'm going to go and rent
you...
a hotel room and just wreck it. I want to be like a rock band, irresponsible. But then I'll pay the bill the next day. I'll pay for all that damage.
Yeah, you could buy the hotel. I mean, the room.
But meanwhile, rock and roll, baby.
Yes. So we have some really great answers. I think a lot of fans agree with us in terms of making lavish purchases, but let's see what other things they would spend there.
Ooh, okay. This is a hard one. The first thing I would buy... I would buy an asset that would make me money. I would buy an asset, and then from there, I would buy an estate so I can build my own home. Then I would buy another asset, which would be like a duplex apartment home. My first asset would be a business. I would buy a business. And my second asset would be an apartment duplex. So to answer the question, the first thing I would buy would be an asset for extra income.
Forward thinking. She's not just going to blow all this money at once, right?
If I win the lottery, the first thing I'm going to buy is the services of a trusted lawyer / accountant, because I don't need anybody trying to take my money, and I don't want to mismanage that money after I just got it.
When people answer these things so seriously, as if they had planned it, they really think they're going to
I would buy or build my dream house. it would have 10 bedrooms, 10 full bathrooms, a finished basement on at least 15 acres. It would have swimming pools, hot tubs, sporting courts, whatever my kids would want. We would have all of the recreational vehicles we want, golf carts, RVs, boats. I would build the perfect getaway piece of land for ourselves.
Love it. Don't forget the pickleball court. Maybe 2.
Or 3.
If I won the lottery, the first thing I'd do is get a ticket to Hawaii and buy a house. I would love to live there. The thing is, I've never gone in my whole life, but I've heard so many good things about it, and the pictures are beautiful. I need to go. I need to live there. And so the lottery would be a great opportunity that I'd, of course, want to take hold of and, live there.
In fact, you could fly your lawyer out to meet you there. And like while you're hanging out on the beach drinking Mai Tais, you could work.
You just won the lottery. What's the first thing you're going to buy?
Well, I'm glad you asked.
Probably a ticket, so I can get away from everybody and decide what I'm going to do with this money. I don't want anybody in my face asking for any money right away. So I need to go figure out how it's going to be distributed. Yeah.
Hawaii. I hear it's a good place to figure it out.
If I won the lottery, what would be the first thing I'd buy? Probably vacation tickets for my entire family. We would need that. We definitely need that.
Antarctica. So tell me that you haven't thought about this yourself. Like, if I win this $400 million lottery, what am I going to do? So these guys have really thought it through. Some people had like really serious answers. Like, I'm going to get a lawyer, I'm going to buy an asset, I'm going to go and, whatever. And then other people, like, I'm just going to build the ultimate dream house. I'm going to go to Hawaii for a while, meet my lawyer there or whatever, So which one are you? Are you like seriously planning this thing out? Then I recommend you vote for 1, 2, or 3. Maybe you're a little flightier. 3, 4, 5, or 6.
Yeah, I think what's really funny is I learned that 5 and 6 are twins. So one twin wants to include the twinification, the other wants to get away.
Tara's serious, she's like, okay, no, I've thought this out. Mm-hmm. While she's waiting in line to buy her lotto tickets, she's like, yeah, I know exactly what I'm going to do when this ticket comes in. So funny.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I would do. I wouldn't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. And then I would go like, meet the lawyer, go, what should I do with this thing? And they would tell me what to do. And then I would quietly build the compound with the barbed wire chain link fence and the machine gun turret so that I would be safe from all those prying relatives,
Turrets.
And then I would let it go public.
Well, I have heard of like lottery winners in the past saying like kind of what Tara is saying, where you need to get like a consultant or a lawyer, because if you splurge, so many people splurge the money and then go broke, go back to the money that they had before. So it is very smart, but there's
something very like prosaic about that, right? You are who you are, and somebody gave you a bunch of money, and so you just spent it, baby. And then you came back to like where you were before, feeling pretty good about it. I think that's okay. What do you say? Is there a poll here?
We do have a poll for this. So the poll is, what is the first thing you'd spend your lottery winnings on? We have all of the things we talked about, luxury and lavishness, or some more kind and more down-to-earth or logical options.
All right, donating all to charity is not logical. I'm just going to say that right off the bat.
It's kind.
Yeah, it's
like
dumb.
how like good you'd feel about yourself. Invest it. You know what I'd invested in? A fur coat for me. Don't you? I could pull it off. Fur coat, fur hat. Like I'm trapped in Moscow.
You get in trouble with stuff like that now. You can't do it.
Tell everybody it's a fake fur, but it won't be. It'll be a real fur.
Real beaver.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Well, let's move on because this is the last question of the week. This is today's question. Let's check it out.
We wanted to know, what career did you want when you were young versus what do you do now? So these are always fun questions because they're usually not, closely tied. Once in a while you have some people, but for the most part, like, I always wanted to be a veterinarian because I just thought it would be so fun and so cute to just play with animals and make them well when they're sick. And then you realize, wow, it actually takes like a medical degree. Like, you're not going to be making any money for a very long period of time. And it's just too hard,
You got no math.
You do.
I know.
You do. A lot of biology, a lot of chemistry, a lot of things that, I didn't really excel in. But I think it's the fantasy, when you're younger and then the reality hits you. So look what I'm doing now. I'm not taking care of animals.
Not a vet. You had a cow, though.
I did have a cow, Mona.
I am in the middle of watching All Creatures Great and Small right now about veterinarians living in northern England. And I'm kicking myself. If only I had studied in that, then I could have been a veterinarian. Now I could be like delivering cows by like yanking the hooves out the back. It's a great show if you haven't seen it. Very relaxing. Doesn't sound relaxing the way I just described it, but it really is. Most of the time they're just like, helping ducks learn how to waddle and stuff like that.
Oh.
I know. It's a great show.
Cute.
Yeah. Well, we do have some answers from throughout the week. So let's see if anyone agrees about veterinarians or if they have other dream jobs.
So when I was really little, I kept on telling my parents that I wanted to be a nun, which was influenced by my obsession with the movie The Sound of Music. And I just wanted to be Maria when I grew up. That didn't happen. I'm not a nun. I'm actually going back to school to become a nurse. So that's how that worked out.
Got some cautionary tales for you though, Neva.
When I was a kid, I wanted to be a veterinarian, so I wanted to work with animals and be outside. I now work on computers and I work with people. Big difference.
But I hear birds in the background, so it can't be all bad.
When I was young, I wanted to be a fireman. I figured I'd known some. It's a very heroic role, and you want to make a difference. But I found at an early age that I was able to do voices really well, and now since I do over 150 of them, I decided to pursue my dream and I got into voiceovers. So now I record and narrate for clients all around the world. I love it. It doesn't really seem like a job. So I hope to be doing that for a real long time.
Somebody send Sean a star. He's got some little stars. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. You guys are way ahead of me.
When I was younger, I either wanted to be a ballet dancer, an actress, or a model. And now that I'm 26 years old, I'm actually a voiceover artist. So I am still technically doing the acting in some of my work, but I'm not doing the dancing and I'm definitely not doing any of the modeling.
What career did you want when you were younger and what do you do now? Well, when I was younger, all I wanted to do was be an actress and a model. I wanted to do anything that was creative, on stage, performance, and I just thought that would be the coolest thing. And actually, I fulfilled a lot of it. I did a lot of acting and modeling, and it was fun and cool, and yeah, it was a dream come true. And now I change, and I am a proofreader, kind of like an editor for articles. So that's pretty cool too. I like that also.
You just sit there and go, they're so stupid. I can't believe that.
Well, I have always wanted to make movies ever since I was a kid. And right now I'm a video editor, so I'm not that far. There's a lot to go, but I'm not as far off what I wanted to do when I was a kid.
I love editors. I think it is where the rubber hits the road in terms of storytelling. I really do. Wow, those were some really, really great answers, and not as many veterinarians as I had thought.
I know.
But there is one. So you guys can vote. Tell us, who do you agree with, or who do you think had the best answer for whatever reason, by going into the chat and typing vote space and the number one of these people. Yeah, maybe you want to become a nun or a veterinarian, or maybe you want to be an actor or a fireman. Yeah, there's so many things here. Yeah. But you know, I think it's interesting. I mean, where people land, it's not necessarily a disappointment. Like, you just find yourself in different places, and it's exciting because you have no idea what's going to happen next. It's like being in a video game, right? You know, when you turn around the corner, who knows? Who knows what kind of monster is laying out? What fun adventure. Yeah, Sean.
Well, I love that he won, because he wanted to be a fireman and he ended up being a voice actor. But so he was always thinking, what can I do with my body that, you know, can, what's a good career I could have using my body? And it was actually his voice that ended up taking him to where he is today. So
I'm disappointed. He has 150 voices. He could have given us one.
Yeah.
I mean, he did give us one, but he could have given us a different one.
Right.
A funny one. Well, that was so congratulations, Sean. You are going to make it into the final round. And as you guys know, all these people have been clicking along, getting their answers. They finish in one of these semifinal rounds, and then they make it to the finals. When is those finals happening?
Well, they are happening right after this poll, which is, what was your dream as a child? So we have a couple of really good options. We even have first responder, including firefighter. No veterinarian, unfortunately. I guess they could fit under
number two,
scientist.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Astronaut or veterinarian, both heroic.
Well, and number three, first responder, firefighter, or doctor does include a doctor for animals, right?
That's true. That's true.
Ooh. Scientist.
Science. Science.
Wow.
I had some scientists in my family, like some famous scientists. And so I was also one of those. I kind of thought I was going to go into science. And then I couldn't have done anything less sciencey than what I ended up doing. Stores, stealing pizza. That's
You know what time it is?
What time is it?
It's the winner's round. Yeah. This is where we're going to select the very best answer of the week, and we are going to crown your QOTD Weekly Champion.
I'm going to do a quick review, and then everybody out there in the audience, it'll be your turn to vote. And the way that you vote is just like you're voting for everything else. You're going to type vote space in the number corresponding to your favorite answer. Maybe you forgot what happened on Saturday. It's okay, because I'm going to remind you. Let's go.
Probably being a superstar athlete, playing basketball for the NBA.
What is your dream? Oh yeah, what would you like to be famous for?
If I were to own a small business, it would be a bookstore, because I just love reading books, and working in a bookstore as a small business owner would be a dream come true. And that's why, if I were to own a small business, it would be a bookstore.
So, if you were going to own any small business, what would it be? Lisa's bookstore.
If we can count working as a nurse in a hospital as part of the service industry, then I would say my nightmare story is when I started my shift at 6:45 in the morning, and I'm coming down the hall and there's somebody throwing up, and I go in there and the throw up is brown, and it turns out the throw up is poop, because the poop couldn't go down, so it had to come back out. And then I had to pour that vomit poop into a graduated cylinder and measure it. Not a good way to start the morning.
What is your nightmare customer service story if you've ever worked in a consumer-facing business?
If
Yikes.
money was no object, my dream job would be to be an artist.
Yeah, what's your dream job? What's the job that you would do if money was no object?
I would have to say, for not my current boss, but previous bosses, direction would be really helpful, and to not put so much pressure We're just serving ads. We're not doing brain surgery.
So give your boss a review. That's what we heard. Her boss.
If I win the lottery, the first thing I'm going to buy is the services of a trusted lawyer / accountant, because I don't need anybody trying to take my money, and I don't want to mismanage that money after I just got it.
Kara's thought this all the way through. What's the first thing that you would buy if you won the lottery?
When I was young, I wanted to be a fireman. I figured I'd known some. It's a very heroic role, and you want to make a difference. But I found at an early age that I was able to do voices really well, and now since I do over 150 of them, I decided to pursue my dream, and I got into voiceovers. So now I record and narrate for clients all around the world. I love it. It doesn't really seem like a job. So I hope to be doing that for a real long time.
So what was your dream when you were a kid, and what did you end up doing in terms of your career? Sean is going to fill Sunday mornings with joy with his voices for anthropomorphic characters. Like very large roosters, etc. Well, guys, it's time for us to vote, and we are picking the champion of the week. You can help us pick the champion by voting. You can vote right in chat by typing vote space, and whoever you thought was the awesomest. If you're over on beyondtheair.com, you can just mash the blue buttons, the number corresponding to, the one that was the best. Bookstore way. How do we get there? I'm going to go right into the mystery section, and I am going to pick up a big tome. I'm going to get a cup of coffee at the counter and maybe a muffin. I'm going to sit there and I'm going to slowly and casually read and have the mellowest experience at Way's Bookstore. So thank you for that, Way. Congratulations. You are our weekly champion.
Yes.
It's all the dust coming off all of the books. So that was such an awesome week. It was all about careers, and it was sort of like distantly related to this being Women's History Month. I don't know how we got there, but there was a discussion and a transition, and that's where we ended up. We're going to help you guys figure out your careers and empower you, and that's the way it's going to go. That was this week. Next week, which starts tomorrow, we have a whole new theme, but I don't know what it is. Does anybody know what the theme is for this week?
Pick me.
Trish, do tell.
Well, our theme next week is movies. In honor of the Oscar Awards held on Sunday night, we're talking about the big stars on the big screen, our favorite storylines, our favorite stars, the best of the best, from Bollywood to Hollywood.
So, the kind of questions might be who's going to win the Oscars? Or is it going to be what was the best musical in 1946? Is that the kind of questions that we're talking about?
No, I can give you a hint for tomorrow's question if you want.
I would love to know tomorrow's question, because that will help me think about my answer so that when I record it, I could make it to the Thursday Big Show. Tell me about it. What is tomorrow's question?
Well, tomorrow's question is all about star sneak attacks. So we're talking about an actor or an actress that you know and love that has been seen in a most unexpected scene.
Ooh. Interesting.
Yes, so that question will come out at midnight tonight is when it'll come out. And then tomorrow morning, we might publish one of our favorite answers to that question, because we get answers pretty quickly.
So what's the best way? If I want to get in on this thing, JJ, and I want to get those answers right in my inbox, what should I do at this very moment?
You should subscribe. Go down. There should be a subscribe button right next to our icon for the channel. You can just click that subscribe button and you'll get notified with every new question that we release every day, as well as when we're going live with our big show and other live streams.
That's great. There's no other way to get those notifications. So thank you very much. But besides thanking you guys for all you do, I also want to thank everybody out there in the audience who recorded, who voted, who sent stars during the week, who shared a little bit of themselves and made this kind of community endeavor of QOTD really work. So as JJ says, make sure to subscribe so that you get tomorrow's question, then you can record, and then we can kind of all check you out, because you know what? We can't wait to see you on TV.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Ciao.